We're cooking up some beans today. We're going to make some baked beans, and with the leftover beans I'm going to make some bean soup. But what we did was, in with the beans that I soaked overnight, I've got some Great Northern beans, soaked them overnight and then boiled them until they're almost tender. And then we boiled some pork ribs, and I'm just pulling the pork meat off the bones, and we'll chop it up and we'll start with the baked beans. Okay, we're going to make some baked beans. I cooked the beans. I'm using Great Northern beans. You can use navy beans or whatever floats your boat. And I don't measure anything, so this is going to be kind of a guesstimate. There's about 2 cups of beans, I'd say, in there. And I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of molasses. I'm going to add some dried onion, just because I'm too lazy to chop up some regular onion. So I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of dried onion, thereabouts. Probably we'll add about a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a couple of, probably about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon of mustard, and we'll see what we got here.
Grey Poupon.
A little bit of pepper, probably a half a teaspoon at most, and I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt because the beans are pretty bland and they really need it. And we just broke up the meat off the pork ribs, and I'm going to add in a handful or 2. And what the heck, might as well add the rest. Boys can lick the plate. And I'm going to bake it in a greased casserole dish at 350. It'll probably take anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes until they're good and hot, because the beans are cold at this point. If it looks like it's a little too thin, I saved the bean liquid that I cooked it in to use to thin it out, so I may thin it down just a little bit. And we're going to I sprayed the casserole dish. It's probably 1.5 quarts. And as I said, we'll bake this at 350 for probably, I'm thinking, about 45 minutes till it's nice and bubbly. It's all cooked, so you're just basically heating it through.
Okay, what else goes good with homemade baked beans but some homemade brown bread? In here right now I've got 2 cups of white flour, 2 cups of wheat flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, and 2 cups sugar. And what we're going to do is just mix this all up nicely. Okay, to this we're going to add, well, it's going to be a total of 2 cups of soured milk and a half cup of molasses. What I'm going to do is just add about half the milk first. And we're going to add the molasses. Now we're going to add the last. We're going to kick it up just a hair and let her mix for a little bit. Okay, and what we've done is we've beaten this till it's smooth, and now we need to let it set for 20 minutes. To sour the milk, in order to sour the milk, we've used 2 tablespoons of vinegar and then brought the milk level up to 2 cups.
And then you just want to let the milk set for about 5 minutes, and it will thicken slightly, and it's the equivalent of buttermilk.
Pre-wash. Here we go. They've sat for 20 minutes now. We're going to throw them in a preheated oven, 300, and we're going to bake them for about an hour. We're probably going to check it in about 45 minutes.
I'm going to check the bread to see how it's coming.
45 minutes. It is starting to pull away from the sides. And came out clean.
I'd say it's done.
There we go.
And we'll let them cool in the pan about 5 minutes, and then we'll flip them out. And with the leftover beans, I'm making some bean soup. We've got the ham bone, leftover ham bone thrown in there that we had stored in the freezer. I add a little bit of shredded cabbage, some chopped up carrots, and some onions, some garlic. And we'll let that cook for a little while and finish off the beans that way. It'll thicken up as it cooks. And the breads are done, they're out of the pan. The baked beans are done. Ready to eat.
Oh yeah. Good brown bread. Oh yeah. Ciao.